The next topic I want to discuss is the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. Now, many people listening to this webinar may not qualify just because they're not in a restaurant or restaurant-related business. But it's a great program for many of those, whether it be a food truck, whether it be catering, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be a bar. All of those similar institutions have this fund that's going to be released next month for them. Now, this was created as part of the third stimulus package. And what that third stimulus package did is it created a $28.6 billion fund for restaurants that suffered through this pandemic. And this is a tax-free federal grant. So not only is it tax-free, but it does not have to be paid back. In addition, they carved out $5 billion of that $28.6 billion just for entities under $500,000 in revenue. So they made sure that this is available to smaller businesses. Now, the grant is equal to the difference between the 2020 and 2019 revenue. That's the max of the grant, but there's going to be requirements that are included in that demonstrate why it's important to work with an organization like ours to make sure that you're doing it correctly. And like I've said many times, maximizing the amount of money available to you. Now, the limits on what you can receive through this program is $10 million per company and $5 million per physical location. So if a restaurant has 2 locations, they could get $5 million per location for a total of $10 million for the company. If they have 5, 10 locations, they're still limited to that $10 million limit for the entire company. Now, this is so new that the SBA has not released its guidance on how to apply. That is going to be coming in April of 2021. But rest assured, Emerge 180 will be all over that, and we'll be getting that information out to our clients as soon as it is released. And based on our experience with helping companies with the disaster loan, we believe it's going to be very similar. And helping companies with that paperwork that's going to be required is paramount to making it a smooth, simple, fast transaction for businesses that need this money. So what are the program requirements for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund? Number one, it's limited to entities with 20 or fewer locations. The covered period for this goes back to February 15th of last year, and it continues out to the end of this year, 2021. So it's a very large period of time of which you can request and receive these funds. Now, eligible expenses include payroll, mortgage or rent, utilities, PPE, outdoor seating construction that had to be built in order to accommodate local government orders, operational expenses, and even debt obligations that could be to suppliers or any other creditor for the business. Now, the other thing that they've done is for the first 21 days, so when they open up the program next month, the first 21 days, priority is going to be given to those restaurants or restaurant-like entities owned by women, veterans, or socially and economically disadvantaged concerns. So they're making sure that they carve out a significant amount of time to help those types of businesses. Now, one thing is the IRS, the SBA, our federal government doesn't like it when you double dip, right? So they're not gonna, for every dollar that you spend, they're not gonna give you $2 back. So any amount of your grant is going to be reduced by your PPP loans received right off the bat. So you get a $100,000 PPP loan, whatever grant you have eligible, it's going to be reduced by that $100,000. And based on everything that we're seeing regarding this program, it really highlights the need to work with an expert in this to make sure it's done right the first time, and submitted correctly. Another thing is that you cannot combine this with the Shuttered Venue Operations Grant that was created quite some time ago. Those are geared towards venues that host concerts or what may be, that may also have a restaurant or serve food at those. They can either get the shuttered venue operations grant or they can get the restaurant revitalization fund. Now, it's also not eligible or not available to publicly traded companies. So it really leaves out, those publicly traded restaurant chains that may have gotten like the PPP loans. They're excluded from this program. It's really reserved for those small to medium-sized businesses in this space.